On the 29th of May, South Africans will make their mark in the country's 7th post-apartheid national and provincial elections. To help indecisive voters make up their minds, Johannesburg Journal is looking into party manifestos. Every day we investigate what some of the biggest players are promising to South Africans. The order in which the different parties are presented was decided by a draw. I'm Julien Trévian, you're watching Manifesto Explained on Johannesburg Journal. Today we focus on the Inkatha Freedom Party. The fourth party in the current National Assembly could get a higher share of the votes than in 2019, with around 5%. The party is led by Velenkosi Hlabisa since 2019 and the death of its founder, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. It took part in SA's 1994 Government of National Unity. The party's project can be resumed in 6 priorities: the economy and jobs, crime and corruption, service delivery, social matters, traditional leadership, and the environment. The IFP wants to prioritize South Africans in the job market. Foreigners would not be allowed to make up more than 20% of a business's workforce. An IFP government would champion public fiscal restraint and set a debt ceiling. Further bailouts to SOEs would be refused, with public-private partnerships preferred to save these companies. A full-scale land audit would determine who owns what and pave the way for redistribution with reasonable compensation. Under an IFP government, the police would work with communities to end crime, traditional courts would be recognized, and a national debate on death penalty would begin. To curb gender-based violence, special courts would be created and victims would receive better protection and assistance. Perpetrators would not be granted bail. The SAPS would be better resourced and equipped. Zero tolerance for corruption would be the rule in the police and the entire civil service. The SANDF would be mobilized in communities where crime and gangsterism is rife. It would also help secure borders. Illegal immigrants would be deported and banned from operating businesses. Visa and asylum applications would be done online, and all foreigners would have to revalidate their permits every 6 months. An open electricity market would be introduced, with Eskom managed in partnership with private actors. The IFP would maintain coal as an essential energy source, but would support others such as gas and homes, or wind turbines and solar, which would be subsidized. Nuclear power would be state-managed. The IFP would ensure universal access to safe and affordable water and sanitation by 2030 by focusing on infrastructure maintenance and development. The party promises a functioning transport system thanks to deregulation and public-private partnerships. Passenger and freight rail would be upgraded. The IFP wants free basic education and state-sponsored tertiary education for the poorest. It would reform the National Student Financial Aid Scheme and encourage private development of student accommodation with a 30% grant. Public schools would provide free transportation. Stricter regulations would ensure safe learning conditions. Codes of conduct would be implemented and the pass mark raised to 50%. The education budget would increase to improve infrastructure. Teachers would be better paid and would benefit from accommodation when working in rural areas. The IFP defends quality healthcare for all. It would fix issues of understaffing, infrastructure and management in the public healthcare system. Doctors and nurses would be better trained, paid and supported. The party would roll out the NHI but would review its funding model. It would also ensure at least one hospital operates in each of the country's 52 health districts. Subsidized housing would develop further, the qualifying income bracket would widen. Low-cost housing programs would facilitate access to home ownership. Traditional leaders would receive greater compensation and security. The constitution would be revised to clearly define their roles and powers. An IFP government would engage with all stakeholders to promote a fair and equitable ecological transition. It would reduce single-use plastic and develop recycling. Wildlife would also be better protected. The fight against rhino poaching would intensify and captive-bred lion hunting banned. This takes us to the end of this explainer. Thank you for watching. You can support Johannesburg Journal by subscribing and by liking, commenting and sharing this video. Manifesto Explained will be back tomorrow with a focus on the Umkhonto we Sizwe party. Until then, stay kahle.